No heroics into Sandoval, please.
Cheers, Jeff.
Hey guys, it's James here. Welcome back to another F1 2020 My Team Career Mode video. We are here for episode number 18 at the Japanese Grand Prix. And before we get into this episode, I would just like to say a massive thank you to all of you guys who came over from Matt Gallagher's tweet and subscribed to the channel and watched the last episode. I've been absolutely blown away by everyone's support. It's absolutely unreal. I was hoping to hit 100 subscribers by April, and you guys have absolutely smashed that. So thank you so much. And now we'll get into the episode. Just looking at the R&D tree, we've got a general durability upgrade, which is coming from actually the Renault factory, our engine suppliers. They're going to get us this durability upgrade, and there'll be one upgrade that comes straight after this Grand Prix, which is a little bit frustrating, but we are going to just buy some new things in the marketing because we've got plenty of money. Still a few races to go before the end of the season, so no need to worry about driver contracts. But we're just going to advance time. That general durability upgrade from Renault is going to be here, and then we're going to go to qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through from the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
So here we are then for qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm going to show you 2 laps this time because something interesting happens in this qualifying session. Setup is the golden setup. I know it's a little bit risky. You might need a little bit more downforce around here, but I do feel like I'm very comfortable with this setup, especially on a controller that I'm racing on 102 AI difficulty at the moment. So this is my first lap going across the line now. No one has set a time yet. There's just a Williams and a Red Bull car in front of us. We head towards turns 1 and 2. It's the very tight sort of double apex right-hander, which has been totally revamped on the 2017 F1 game, I want to say, and it just feels really nice. This is one of my favourite sections of any Formula 1 circuit on the calendar. If you absolutely nail this section, it's really satisfying. And now you need to get a good exit out onto the Dunlop curve. We're supposed to lift off. We didn't lift off. We've run wide onto the grass and we've smashed into the wall at the top of the Dunlop curve. That is an absolute disaster. We lost the car and we've thumped into the wall. Very lucky only to just lose the front wing there. We're running simulation damage. We don't want to get in the way of Daniel Ricciardo, so we do brake and let him take the Degner 1 turn properly. But that is horrendous. We've just had a massive smash. Totally lost the car at the Dunlop curve, and we have smashed into the wall. We've had to repair the car. Luckily, we didn't get any suspension damage, and we'd be totally out of qualifying. So we're just going to wait in the garage until the second flying laps. We're going to go out now at the end of the session. We're going to have one opportunity, and the question is am I going to be cautious on this second lap, because we don't want to have what happened last time, which is thump straight into the barriers at the Dunlop curve. So I feel like I've got to be much more cautious to at least set a lap time and get ahead of the Williamses, because even P20 would be better than P22 here as we head through the first and second corners for the second time. We actually take that one slightly better, I feel, than we did on the first lap. We're training our teammate Guan Yu. We go flat out through that, almost lose the rear end through turn 3. That's a little mistake. The rear end sort of snapped out onto, and we almost went into the wall. Did lucky to save that through the Dunlop curve. We don't lift off, but we actually take a far better line, and there is no dramas like last time where we thumped into the wall towards Degner 1. That is totally the wrong line that I've taken through there. We've lost a huge amount of time. I was far too far on the inside of the circuit. I should be on the outside of that to take that almost flat out, but we didn't. So that's a little mistake that's going to cost us some time. Heading through the hairpin now, pretty uneventful, that hairpin. It's a good place for overtaking on lap 1 because the AI always get bunched up through there. But we have been a little bit more cautious on this lap, probably for good reason after that big accident at turn 7 at the Dunlop curve on the first lap. Heading through Spoon Curve now, we did a pretty good job of getting a decent exit out onto there, heading down towards 130R, obviously the scene of probably, in my opinion, the greatest overtake in Formula 1 history. Fernando Alonso and Michael Schumacher. 130R is absolutely flat out at 200 miles an hour. Braking to the chicane, we've gone way too deep. That's going to cost us a huge amount of time. going through the final chicane. We've lost a lot of time and we're going to come across the line. And where's it going to put us in this qualifying after that big accident? 20th. That's pretty disappointing. 20th on the grid.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three: Bottas, Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles, and it's the only time during the season that we race on a figure-of-8 racetrack. The drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar. And keep an eye out for overtakes going into the final chicane. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The fence starts from pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Charles Leclerc and Vettel, Sainz, Ricciardo, Stroll and Daniel Kvyat, Albon, Ocon, Pierre Gasly and Norris, Grosjean, Magnussen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Guan Yu Zhou, Raikkonen, James, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So here we are then for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix. It's a very simple one-stop strategy from softs onto the hard compound of tyre. Hopefully we can use the soft tyres to good advantage at the start of the race. But we're going to go to 5 red lights for the start of the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka. And it is lights out and away we go. We get a great start compared to Raikkonen and Zhou, already side by side with our teammate who's out-qualified us twice consecutively now. We're going side by side with Antonio Giovinazzi into turn 1 as Gasly and Norris go side by side ahead. Who's going to break first? We are on the racing line around the outside of Giovinazzi into turn 3. This is normally flat out. It's still side by side with Antonio Giovinazzi, but through turn 4 he manages to snatch the position, and that's going to give Guan Yu Zhou, our teammate, a little opportunity to go through on the inside through turn 5 and 6. Now up towards the Dunlop curve where we had that accident. Luckily, nothing doing this time, and we're still in 18th place. We've gained 2 positions on the first straight, but we are now going into the second Degner, and we've made a little mistake. We almost hit the back of Giovinazzi, and that's going to allow us to go side by side with Guan Yu Zhou as we head now towards the hairpin. We need to outbrake Zhou, but in doing so, we've lunged down the inside of 3 cars. Down the inside of Magnussen, Grosjean and Antonio Giovinazzi. That was an unreal overtake. It was almost a reflex action trying to outbrake Guan Yu Zhou, and in the process we've got past 2 Haas cars and an Alfa Romeo car. So that's unbelievable as we now head through Spoon Curve for the first time, looking to get as good an exit as possible, but we've made a mistake. We've taken far too much of the inside curb. Not only is that going to give us absolutely no chance for run on Pierre Gasly, it's going to give Kevin Magnussen a go. He might go for it down the inside into 130R, but we go all the way around the outside like Alonso did on Schumacher in 2005, and we keep the position and we stay in 15th place. So it's been a pretty good opening lap, going from 20th to 15th as we're now heading across the line for the first time, trailing Pierre Gasly by 1.3 seconds. Here comes Kevin Magnussen on the right hand side. He's pulled out of the slipstream quite early. That means he's going to tail off at the end of the straight, and we do keep 15th place, but we're under serious pressure from both Haas cars and our teammate Guan Yu Zhou as we cut now onto the end of lap 2, the start of lap 3. DRS is enabled. Here comes Kevin Magnussen down the inside into turn 1, but we take the racing line and we keep 15th place. This is brilliant action between myself and the Haas car. We've had a season-long rivalry with Haas, and as we are now actually chasing AlphaTauri in the championship, we still have a very strong rivalry with Haas, and we managed to keep Kevin Magnussen at bay. But going into the hairpin on lap 15, we go for it down the inside from a long way back on Pierre Gasly. No contact is made, no wing damage. He was going so slowly behind Esteban Ocon and Lando Norris. Jeff congratulating me on an excellent move, and we're up into 14th place. What a brilliant overtake, and that was a real statement to AlphaTauri, saying you're not just done yet with that 7th place in the Constructors' titles. But then on lap 5, here comes Pierre Gasly back down the inside. He makes a statement for AlphaTauri. We're going to swing it all the way around the outside of turn 2. Managed just about to keep the car on the circuit. We get a little warning for track limits. Gasly's still there, but he has to back out through turn 4. And we do keep 14th place. This has been an excellent scrap through this Suzuka first sector as we cut now onto lap 7. We're going to box at the end of this lap. It's time for an undercut. I seem to do these every single race weekend, and we head into the pit lane on the end of lap 7, and we're going to strap the hard compound tyre on. This is going to give us good durability, and fingers crossed we're going to make some inroads in the cars behind. Hopefully we don't get stuck behind Latifi or Russell. Hopefully they do pit within the next couple of laps or so, as Max Verstappen has caught up to the back of both Mercedes cars. So everyone going through the Suzuka first sector quite gingerly, it looked like, but we're now out in 21st place. Raikkonen got some damage on the first lap, so he has had to make a pit stop. I think he clashed with Guan Yu Zhou going through turn 2, and that is what caused the wing damage for Kimi Raikkonen. But going across the line on lap 10, we go round the outside of Kevin Magnussen, and we have managed to not only jump him but extend the gap a little bit to him. So that's been very important. It means that these hard compound tyres have worked. Look at the fuel though. We've had to use a lot of fuel to keep Pierre Gasly behind us. Pierre Gasly is on the right hand side coming out the pit lane, and we have jumped him, as has Kevin Magnussen. What a brilliant strategy. On lap 11 we've got past Pierre Gasly, and that moves us up into what is 16th place at the moment, but that's about a net P12 or P13. Gasly 7 seconds behind. We actually made a bit of a mistake there. I think we were actually trying to break Kevin Magnussen's slipstream. It looked like we were heading straight into the pit wall, but there goes Magnussen. He goes down the inside. He's miles ahead going to the braking point of turns 1 and 2, and we do have to concede that position to the Haas car. We've actually not got enough fuel to fight Kevin Magnussen, and that is a big, big problem. But on lap 17, a little race update. Romain Grosjean and Pierre Gasly scrapping away. We're 3 seconds behind Kevin Magnussen, so he has managed to gap us a little bit as we're heading through 130R in rich mix and overtake at 193 miles an hour on these hard compound tyres. Suzuka is one of my absolute favourite tracks on this circuit. I know you do need a little bit more downforce than what I'm running at the moment, but we cut onto lap 20. We've actually gone round the outside of Pierre Gasly, all the way around the outside. He touches us on the inside, and Pierre Gasly has spun. Just as I was saying, I love Suzuka. Pierre Gasly got a really good run on us on lap 20, and Pierre Gasly has spun. And we look at the replay, we just go all the way around the outside of turn 2. He gets on the power much earlier through turn 2 and spears into the back of us, and there was nowhere really for Gasly to go as he headed across the grass, and he's lost a lot of time. As we look at Gasly's on board, he has a little bit of oversteer through there, snaps the car again, and then just has this massive half spin, and he is on the grass. I think that was a racing incident, but also we go across the line. Sergio Perez out the session, so we inherit P14. It's a real shame for Pierre Gasly. It was a really good scrap. Romain Grosjean right in our slipstream as well, unable to overtake there because of the yellow flag. But I do feel a little bit sorry for Pierre Gasly. I think it was neither of our faults, because he obviously tapped the back of us, and I just went all the way around the outside on lap 20. I didn't actually have the footage for me getting very, very close to Gasly, so that's why it was such a sudden change for him already past us, and then we go all the way back around the outside. But we did manage to get some replay footage of the crash, and it was a very, very nasty sort of little unfortunate incident. Luckily Gasly was able to continue, albeit with a slightly damaged car. But look how warm the tyres are, and the last time we go through 130R under pressure from Romain Grosjean all the time. But after starting 20th on the grid, we're going to come home and finish in 14th place with very worn tyres after that undercut strategy. It's going to be 14th in Suzuka for JNS Racing.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they managed to secure the Constructors' title. An incredible performance for the whole team. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
So that was the Japanese Grand Prix. I hope you did enjoy that. That was a pretty exciting episode, and we were a little bit accident prone that weekend as well. Mercedes wrapped up the Constructors' title. We're still in our fight with AlphaTauri, which is going to go absolutely down to the wire with the form that we've shown. But if you did enjoy this episode, make sure to like the video. Subscribe if you are new around here. I've been blown away by the support of the last couple of days. It's been absolutely unreal. I'm so grateful for everyone new who's come and joined the community. I hope you have enjoyed the commentary on this race, and there's plenty more to come. Still going to be uploading twice a week. Next up is the US Grand Prix at Austin, so another track with a left-right section right at the start of the lap. It's going to be a pretty exciting race, I hope, and I hope you're looking forward to it as well as much as I am. And I will catch you guys at the next Grand Prix in America. Later, guys.